I'm in the process of building this shed greenhouse combination, and at this point I've got the entire shed built and I'm ready to start working on the greenhouse. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I get all the materials for it, because it might require some tweaking of the design depending upon the materials that I can obtain. So I picked a certain size window. I want to make sure I can get all those windows and that this design works with them. But what I want to talk about in this video is specifically the roof, because the decision of what type of roof to put on this greenhouse may affect the placement of the rafters. So the reason why I'm making this video is I want you to be aware, if you are making this, to consider what materials you're going to use and then tweak the design as needed before actually starting any construction. Now, the first place I usually turn for any kind of building materials is Home Depot or Lowe's. And in both cases, if you search for greenhouse roof, you'll usually find something like these corrugated plastic panels. And the reason why, they're okay if you're building a standalone greenhouse, but they are thin, and you wind up having to put these corrugated things in the bottom. They're not very insulated because it's thin plastic, and they're very fragile. You can't kneel on them or anything like that. So it's just a consideration that my wife and I, when we were designing this greenhouse, we decided to stay away from that, and we wanted to go with something more like this, which was multi-wall polycarbonate. The benefit of this is that it has additional, it's actually 2 layers with webbing in between them. Yeah, you can see that webbing in between. That provides an insulated air barrier between the outside and the inside. And of course, anytime you want to buy anything for a greenhouse, you want to make sure it is UV protected, so that way it doesn't break down the polycarbonate as quickly. So the trouble with getting this type of a panel from Home Depot or Lowe's is that they have very limited choices, and they were very thin. They were only like 1/4 of an inch, which is 6 millimeter. I wanted it thicker than that. I wanted 8 millimeter. And then the other thing is that you also have to be able to get all of the accessories that go with it, the connectors between the panels and the screws and everything like that you would need. But one of the most important things that I couldn't find on Home Depot or Lowe's is the actual ridge piece that goes across the top. So what I wound up doing was finding a Supplier. Polycarbonatestore.com is a supplier of multiple different kinds of polycarbonate panels, and you can see they come 10 millimeter, 16 millimeter. This one is 16 millimeter with 5 walls. It's got so much. This is really going to be rigid, probably overkill for what I'm doing, but these are probably more for commercial. But what I wanted was the 8 millimeter polycarbonate sheets. And the good thing about this is they come in multiple sizes, and they're actually 4 feet wide instead of 2 feet wide, and that means one less joint. And the other thing is that they can provide you all the different types of joiner caps, both the middle between them, the bottoms, the tops. The top actually is this ridge cap. I could not find this anywhere other than Polycarbonate Store. So I reached out to them, and they actually partnered with me on this. And so that's the products that I'm going to be using. And it's important that I know that, and I get them ahead of time before I begin any construction, because I have to verify the framing. So this is the polycarbonate roof that I'm going to be using. And you can see it has this protective coating on the outside. And it says this is the UV resistant side. It's upside down, but that's what it says. And unfortunately, they don't stick very well, these the covers. And you can see this protective film. It says remove it after installation. But if it comes off ahead of time, which mine did, you have to be able to find which side is the UV protected side. So that's what this is. So you can mark it with masking tape or something like that. And if you absolutely can't figure it out, you can use a UV flashlight. And when you shine it on the UV protected side, you can see a like a blue reflection. And I'll try and see if I can do it on the other side. When you do it on this side, it doesn't do it as much. It doesn't give the same reflection. I don't know if that's visible. I don't know. I can see it. I know it may not be visible on camera, but I can definitely see much more of a reflection. I mean, there it looks purple, but here it looks blue. Now, besides the quality of the panels themselves, you really got to think about getting the channels and things like that, because this is what's going to keep it from leaking, quite honestly. So this type of a channel is for between the panels as they're vertically going up the side. Hopefully you can see that. That's called an H channel. And it's got this gap in between where you can drive screws to hold it down without it compromising the integrity of the panels themselves. And then you've got this kind of a like a U or a J channel that goes down the end, and that's to prevent any kind of insects or anything like that from climbing up in the hollow ends of the panels. And then you've got this is kind of like a flashing panel that goes over the edge. And it could either be used against the building or it could be used against the outside. And so that's an important one as well. I think that one they call an F channel. Again, really pretty hard to get these things. So you can see it's in the shape of an F. And then the most important, the one that I had the hardest time getting, was this one. This one is actually the ridge. So it kind of looks like the H channel, but it's not. It's actually very thin in the inside, and you can see it's meant to pivot. So that's what will form the ridge. You can have panels going down both sides, and this provides the center, right? The peak of the building. That's what these are for. So that's very important. All these pieces that came with it, they were part of the order, and all these pieces are necessary. So you may be able to find panels like this at home centers and who knows where else. But finding all these channels, especially this one, that was the tough part. So that's why I went with one-stop shop and got everything from the same place. In addition to those parts, you've got these fasteners. They're 1.5" stainless steel fasteners that have a metal/rubber washer on them. They're made for this kind of thing. They're specialty. In addition, they've got even bigger washers that have a rubber backing on them. So this is, again, made for this this product. There's special foil tape used to seal the ends, and there's also, this is a special weather stripping in a roll that goes down to keep everything nice and sealed and floating against the studs. Then there's the sealant that is used wherever the panels come together with the plastic parts. You're going to use sealant there as well. So all these things came from the same source from the polycarbonate store. So I challenge you to find another source that has everything. And if you do, that's great. Otherwise, you could go with a different solution. But if you want it weatherproof and you want it to be as warm as possible, I think you need to think that one through. Now you can see these panels themselves are just about exactly 48 inches wide, if not a little bit wider. And I had them pre-cut the length, which is needed for mine, to 5 feet. Okay, each side 5 feet. And I can always shorten them if I need to, but you can't put any back. So once you add the channel on the end, which is the F channel, and then you got this H channel in the middle, when you add that all up, it actually comes out to like 97 inches. So what I need to do is I need to plan, especially for my studs, I need to plan that I've got a stud, instead of putting it right at, the rafter, I should say, instead of putting it right at 48, it's got to be at 48.5. Okay, so that when I drive the screw down through the H channel, it matches up. It goes right into the wood. So that's the important part that I have to remember here. So now I can go back to my plan. I'm going to make some adjustments and make sure that that rafter falls at 48.5. And then the other one falls still probably right around 96. So that way that hangs over a little bit. Oh, by the way, these panels come with a 10-year guarantee, and they are made in the USA. All right, folks, well, you can see this is really coming together at this point. I've got the roof taken care of. Next step is to grab the windows and get those in stock. And then, of course, it will be to adjust and actually frame the greenhouse. So this should be considerably easier than the shed. So thanks for watching, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be the first to know when new videos are posted. Look for HandyDadTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit the website HandyDad.tv for more great ideas and information.